Okay, so I'm attempting to make my first time ever Oklahoma onion burger, which is supposed to be absolutely amazing, and the videos on YouTube look great. George Motz, this is for you. We got our mandolin to try to get razor thin onions. We've got our cast iron skillet. We've got some rolls. Here's our onion, our fresh ground beef. We got some cheddar. Unfortunately, they don't sell American cheese here in the States, not proper American. So we're gonna go with this. Some kosher salt as well. Got a sharp knife in case the mandolin doesn't do the job, and then we got a flat top grill as well. So we're going to compare how do we get a better caramelized sear out of this cast iron pan or out of the griddle. So let's see how it goes. Smasher to smash that burger down because we want it to be really, really thin within a moment of its life. I think, as George said. And so we've got, of course, we've got a spatula, but this is plastic, and it may not be able to get the pressure on it before it breaks into the pan or up on the grill. What we're going to try to do, without hurting ourselves, is we're going to try to use this mandolin setup. We've got the onion inside of here. I'm not sure if this is going to be able to get it as thin as we need it, but let's try with this option. And then the second option we're going to do is just try to slice it as thin as we can with this knife right here. Okay, so this is what we got when we did the mandolin styles. Not an exact science because it's all about how much pressure you put on there, but this is what I'm looking for. I want to be able to see my fingers through the other side. I want it as thin as it can possibly be, and then some of the earlier stuff where I was putting a little bit more pressure on, you can see there, it's just not quite as good. So I'm going to try to separate those, and then I'm going to give it a little knife style with the other onion and just see which is a better result. Okay, so there's the results of the difference. You can just even see the onion here just with the knife. It's just so hard to get. So razor thin, paper thin, see-through translucency that you get with the mandolin. So this mandolin will be good. So next up, we're going to look at temperature. So I'm going to go up to the stove, and it says medium-high heat, so I'm going to put that at a 7, and hopefully that'll help. And each stove is different, so it's hard to tell. And then with the griddle, I mean, it goes up to 400, so a medium-high would probably be somewhere around 325-ish, I'll say, around there. So we'll wait for that to come up, and essentially what we're going to do, we're just going to put a scoop of the ground beef. This is roughly 80-20, probably more 75-25 from the local butcher, fresh today, which is the key ingredient. You want it to be as fresh and as beefy and beautiful as possible. I'm going to take a small scoop of that, going to put it in a pan, I'm going to put one on here. I'm going to do them separately because I want them to pay right attention to each one. We're going to start with here. I'm going to put it in there. We're going to put some coarse salt on it. Then we're going to pile the onions on top, and we're going to smush it all down and just leave it for a minute and a half. Then we're going to flip it, add cheese on the flip, which is of course separate, and then ride them. So we want to put the bun sort of sitting on top as well, so all that beefy aromatics gets into the bun as well. George recommends a little bit bigger, round it into a ball or scoop it out. I don't have a scoop, just a bit bigger than a golf ball. So we got option A here, which is a bit bigger than a golf ball, option B, which is bigger than, and then option C, which is much bigger. And I'm going to see which one takes. So the meat's in the pan, and I put some coarse salt on there, as you can see, and now we're going to try the onions here. I'm going to do a fairly handsome helpful up there. And we're gonna push that on top. Never so much. Now it's probably too much onion. It's hard to get on there. And then what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to smush it. So I'm gonna put my fingers on here and hope to help push it as high and hard as we can. And then we're supposed to just leave it. We want those onions to kind of marry into there. Which is hard to show this and cook at the same time. I'm going to cook it one more time on there. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit more salt, and I'm going to put the cheese on flip. So I'm going to do that. That's premature. So that's what we look like on flip. Now we put our cheese on, of course, because I'm trying to do two things at once. I'm not really focusing. There's our cheese, okay? Now we let them ride. Bring our bun back. Sit down on there for a minute and a half. Okay, we're ready to take this off here. So let's get this moving. I'm going to take this off the heat. And we are going to take this bad boy. Now this size actually looks really good for these buns. Oh yeah, I tried to griddle my bun a little bit. Here we go, here we go. We can do two things at once. Don't fall, baby, don't fall. Okay, a little bit of butter on that, just because we're not putting anything else on here but this burger and this onions. And cheese on top, so let's see how that goes, okay? I decided, you know what we gotta do? We gotta eat this burger while it's hot so we can really know what's going on, so. This is what it looks like. Let's try it. Those onions and that beef just so married together. It's beautiful. Crunchy onions, The beef is perfectly cooked. Beautiful reaction on either side to get that caramelization. Cheese is not my favorite cheese. I do love American cheese on a burger, but cheddar, this is good. A bun, next dinner roll is nice and soft. Really good. So now we're gonna do the flat top griddle. We got our beef on there. Burgers, buns are always just toasting up a little bit with a bit of butter. I'm gonna put some salt on here and then smush those onions with salt. Again, we're gonna put those onions on the top. Not hearing enough sizzle, so already, again, I'm feeling like we haven't got the right temperature in here. But let's just see what happens. Push comes to shove. Let's get the spatula out. We're gonna have to get a proper spatula for this. Let's push that beef out, and I can already tell this is not gonna get the caramelization right away. It's gonna take longer. But that's okay, we got time. Okay, try to get some of those onions back on the top of it. Make sure it's on there real good. Let's see what happens. This one to cook up. You can see that we're getting some nice bubble in there, but we're not getting the crispiness that we're getting in the cast iron pan. So either this bad boy doesn't go hot enough, and it's cranked up all the way now. Yep, nope, there's what we look like on flip. So we're not getting that same crusty caramelization that we got on the cast iron skillet. So this is going to be a different taste. It's going to be a different burger. I had to squeeze it more, and I didn't get quite as much smush. The smush factor was not quite as much as it was on the other one, but we may just get a little juicier. I don't know. It's just going to be a different flavor profile. So let's check it out and see how it goes. That's sorted out. So I got some kosher salt in here. I can already tell by the way this burger's turning out over here. It's not going to be as good. That's my predisposition. What I'm doing is getting this pan heated up again because I'm going to get a couple more rounds of burgers to test drive here. This still does look good. I think it'll still be a good burger. I got a lovely toasted bun here. Again, no condiments on this. This is just all about the beef and the onion marriage and the cheese. So, but let's see how we do. Get our stuff going on here. One-handed styles. This is a nice, fresh white dinner roll. I was disappointed they were out of hamburger buns, but you know, I think this actually fits perfectly. It's like a little slider. So let's test this one out. It looks pretty damn good. Okay, so let's have a taste. I mean, it's fresh, it's hot, it's beautiful. That stage lighting here is awful, but it's good. It's a good burger. It still tastes great, but you're missing that crispiness. You're missing that sort of caramelization, that thing that just happens, the magic that just happens when beef and heat hit together. So definitely the cast iron pot, which is now smoking at me, I'm gonna have to get some more beef in there right away. This one, still good. Whoa, look at this thing. I mean, once again, look at that caramelization. Now that is what you want. That is perfection. So toss our cheese on there. Let's just let it do its thing for another couple minutes. That's a wrap for me. I've had a few of those burgers now. I put the rest in the fridge. I'm going to cook them up again tomorrow for my cousin who lives next door. I've been telling him about this whole thing. So he wants me to show him a demo. So I'm going to cook it up for him, see how he feels about it. But I got to tell you, sign of a great burger is feeling satiated, feeling good, feeling comfort, feeling all the good memories of burgers past. This is going to be up there. That was a perfectly cooked burger, if I do say myself, in the cast iron skillet. Became a huge fan. I've been looking at George's Oklahoma onion burger that he has picked up on his travels across the U.S. And if you're not familiar with George Motz, you can check out his book, Hamburger America. He also had Burgerland, which was a TV show. I think they did a documentary as well. So George has eaten it all. He's had 12,000 burgers or in counting in his life. And he knows all about it. So I recommend that you hit him up on YouTube as well. Check it out. I'm going to be doing things like this more often as I try to experiment with some of George's recommendations and also just mixing up my own thing. Certainly love nothing more than a good classic American burger. And now I live in Canada, so I have I'm fiending for it. Anyways, this is Scotty signing off from the Burger Town.